Hey everybody, it's Lou Santiago, and this is episode 1 of season 2. You're probably going, hey, where did those guys go? They went away. We don't understand what happened. Well, you know what? We had to take a break because John is a delicate flower. And while we were away, I got a new microphone because I sounded like a guy who was going, I'd like to talk to you about your car warranty. But that's okay. I moved on from that. That's what I did. So here's the deal. Remember to subscribe, like, follow, do all those things that you should be doing on any of those things. Go on my page, Garage Insider with Lou Santiago on Instagram. Go on YouTube and follow. Do all that stuff, okay? That's what we need you guys to do because you know what? We can't do this unless we get you guys watching. So that's where we are. Tonight, we have got Karl Fisher, a.k.a. JAP Hands Customs. He's a cool dude out of Florida. Why am I saying Florida? I got Florida on the brain. Don't worry, it's okay. It's Make It Custom. That's his Instagram handle. So there you go. He's the guy. And I'm telling you, the reason why I wanted Karl on tonight is because he's a teacher. So we're going to see John, and then we're going to bring on Karl. Hit the commercial, Ken.
Families today have enough worries. Let's make sure keeping warm isn't one of them. Help us give new coats to kids in need. A new coat lets a kid stay warm, play outside, and feel happy. Join the Auto Dealers Caring for Kids Foundation and give.
John,
I'm a delicate flower.
You are just like a delicate flower.
What are you up to? What are you up to?
Dude, nothing, man. Trying to get my back surgery done, man.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? You set a date because I'll tell you what, if they book us for the Philadelphia Auto Show, you're gonna have to push it 60 days.
Dude,
Second week of March.
It's insane. It's just what happened was the hematologist wouldn't sign off on it because I didn't see him in 8 months. So he said no. And I almost I was there. I was in the zone. I'm thinking of ways I could take this guy out and get home and have a meal before they come get me. That's how bad it was. Yeah.
That was like 2 days before it all came together, right?
It was 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, it was Tuesday. I was supposed to have it Monday. So that's where, so right now, and then he's telling me, well, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that before I sign off. And it's just turned into one crazy thing after another. It's nuts. Like he said, he wanted me to get a filter put in my leg in case a clot. And I go to see the cardiologist, and the cardiologist goes, Mr. Santiago, what brings you in today? I said, well, I was told I got to get a filter in my leg. He goes, well, my notes say you have a hole in your heart. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like it doesn't make nothing's making sense. I don't know.
You know what? It's meant to be. If they were to mess something up and they don't have their shit together, and sometimes it doesn't sound like they do. Right? I mean,
yeah,
you got to hold your heart compared to what you're going in for. That's a little fucked up.
I know. It's just
taking off a leg.
The cardiologist said that he doesn't have a problem with me getting the surgery. So that's where I'm at. So I got to do an ultrasound on the 19th. They're going to ultrasound my legs to make sure that there's no clots in them, and then hopefully I will get on the books for the surgery.
No date.
That's what I'm hoping. Because, dude, I was hoping that I was going to be recovering right now, you know. So that's where we are. I mean, I gotta jump through the hoops. I don't know, you know. There's nothing else I can do, but I got to get it done.
I was telling you, the Philadelphia Auto Show wants to bring us down and do the podcast directly from there.
Dude, I'm game.
It's 2 levels. Upstairs, all the new stuff. Downstairs is dub. They're going to put us with dub because you know we're basement guys. So we're going to be with the dub magazine guys. Yeah, so
they act like we've been kicked out of better places. I don't understand it.
No, but it'd be good to try to put everything together remote and not so far away. So they're going to have to ship you up, put you up, feed you, do your whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. But yeah, I wanted to tell you that 2 weeks I'm going to Barrett. I'm going to Barrett Jackson.
I know you told me that you were going to Barrett, and I already made arrangements while you're in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, sipping cocktails with Ed. Jared's going to come in and stand in for you. I got you
Good.
back, yo.
He's good.
And that night's Rob Ida.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So
he's a talented dude.
Yeah, stupid talent. Like I wish I had some of his talent. I'd be golden because I'd be building some really crazy.
You could spend 2 hours just on Tucker.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd like to. Honestly, when the weather breaks, when I'm better, I want to go up and see him. I just want to go see his shop, dude. Like, look at the stuff that he's building. That's got to be so cool.
I think he's out of Jersey. He's out of Jersey.
He's in Jersey.
Yeah, he's not far from me somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hot Rod Power Tour. Didn't see whether they put up dates yet. I don't know if anybody could check that. DEI has asked us to attend the Power Tour. And like I said before, I'm still working on Ralph from Chrysler, see if we can get some new Red Eyes, Hellcats, something that has rocket fuel.
Something that we can go crazy in. I understand totally.
Something that zips so we can make it from A to B in less than 30 seconds.
We have to make it from A to B.
Ralph said he's doing the tour. So, that would be cool too. So we'll keep you posted along the way. If you guys want to go, hang out, get shit-faced, whatever. I know I'm drinking. I don't know about Lou, but after we park, that's it. I'm done till the next morning. I'm good for 1 or 2 days. Then you'll be carrying me out like a weekend at Bernie's. You'll be dragging me, going, all right, get in the car, throw me in the trunk, whatever you got to do.
So, dude, did you see Big Job Ford? Dr. Frank Heaney will do your surgery. I'm gonna tell you guys. This is great. So I go see that he's a neurosurgeon, and he's got to be a phenomenal surgeon. He's got to be arguably one of the best surgeons in the fucking world. Yeah. His name is Adam Back.
Adam Back. He was meant to be.
Adam Back. BACK. Dude, he's got to be the best back surgeon.
He was born to be a back surgeon.
He was born into it. Come on. Like, I'm psyched. Well, look, man, we anything else we got to talk about?
No, I got nothing. I just wanted to shoot the shit while guys pile on and make sure that they don't miss it. Got Karl. Karl's a talented dude too. I watch his stuff. He breaks it down real simple, explains it.
That's what I like about it, man. That's what I like about it.
I want to buy that truck. That truck would be cool to take on the Power Tour. Be shooting flames everywhere, running people off the road, people wearing Mohawk helmets. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm going to shape my shit just like yours. Right? I'm going to dye my shit gray to be like, oh, Lou did it.
Wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time I've been accused. Someone's accused me. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to go to a commercial, and then when we come back, we're going to have Karl Fisher, JAP Hands, also known as Make It Custom. Hit it.
It sounded too good to be true. A dealership that's been in business over 65 years. Terrific deals and thousands of repeat customers.
You know what I love about this dealership?
What's that?
It's a big building where they sell cars, but that's not important right now. I love their 5-star customer reviews.
See why more people are uncovering great deals at KennedyAuto.com. John Kennedy Ford. Enjoy your ride.
There we go.
Karl. What's up, man?
Everybody? How's it going? Excited to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Outstanding. So, dude, you're up in Canada. Where in Canada are you?
I'm in a little city called Mission, BC. We're in British Columbia. We're right on the west coast. We're like an hour from Vancouver, east of Vancouver. Yeah.
I've been to Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you like it out here?
It was nice. I like it.
You come in the summer?
Like it. Huh?
Did you come in the summer or did you come in the winter?
I went up there with the military on summer, and it was a drunk fest. It was great.
Oh yeah,
well, means he doesn't remember.
You want to be here because it rains the rest of the time.
Yeah, so it was pretty hazy, but it was pretty good.
I think that was you, Lou. Lou was hazy. It wasn't hazy. Lou's telling you he was hazy.
Shit gets blurry.
Yeah. Karl, for the guys on our side that don't know or what have you, briefly explain, what you do, where you're at, and your YouTube, the whole thing. Just hop, skip, jump, because we'll circle back later. And
I'll try and make it quick. So I've been building custom cars for JAP Hands Customs, which is us, for 7 years now. And recently, in the last year or so, we've been doing YouTube. And I guess, last April we started. It hasn't even been a year. And it's taken a little bit. So we're trying to kind of, be more present on YouTube, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So that's kind of where we're at.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
go
ahead, John. Go ahead.
No, I wanted I heard a story. I forget where you were telling how JAP Hands came about. So people fill in the blanks. What's that story about? Where'd you get the name?
You know what? I feel like I'm not 100% if it's for real. The exact way it happened, because it was so long ago. But my brother and I were working on a car. I don't even remember what car it was, but I got my fingers up under the dash somewhere, and I was like, doing that thing with your fingers to get the bolt. You know what I mean? And I got this bolt that he couldn't get, and he was like, "It's because of your JAP hands," I don't know if that's it. I mean, it's kind of an ongoing joke after that. People didn't really call me that, like it wasn't a nickname. But when I started the shop, I just thought, why not use it?
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
It's memorable, Yeah,
it is.
A very small percentage of people get offended by it, but they definitely don't forget it.
You know what though? The hell with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you're not offending anybody, then you're not doing it right.
That's right. Yeah.
So for Christmas, right? My son gets me a T-shirt that says "I piss off snowflakes," and then he gets me. He got it from the Hodge brothers. I think they're in Texas, but they got a YouTube page, and I got the race card. It looks like a credit card, and it says on it the race card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
son gives it to me. He's like, "You might want this, Dad. Here you go." I'm like,
Lou goes out of his way to offend people, is what he's telling me. So
it's what I do. It's what I do. I can't help it. I've been doing it so long; it comes natural. Yeah. So I mean, but I was telling you backstage that if you wanted to say you won a Nobel Peace Prize, we're cool with it. We're going along for the ride. We'll make documentation and everything because I have a PhD.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a PhD, man. I got a PhD in KIR. That's what I got it in. So with that said, my doctor a few years ago, Josie, really nice lady. She was in the Navy, and then she got out and she became I think she's a doctor. She might be a physician's assistant, but she was the one I was seeing. And I'd always mess with her. One day she calls me up and she goes, "Miss Santiago, I got to tell you something." And I'm like, "What's that, Josie?" And she goes, I didn't know you had a PhD. I had no idea because it's in my signature in my email. And she goes, "I had no idea that you had a PhD. I need to step my game up." And I go, and she goes, "Do you mind if I ask what it is?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's KIR, keeping it real." and she's a black woman, right? Josie goes, "Oh no, you didn't." And I said, "I bet I got a neck roll out of that too." She hung up on me. She forgot why she was calling.
Oh, that's gold. That's gold.
So Karl, if you want a Nobel Peace Prize, we are on board. Whatever
Watch
you
out for my
want, we
new
got your
email
back.
signature.
And that story will grow. I'm promising.
Yeah. 110 people would believe it, I'm sure.
Let's get serious for a second. Karl, let's back up to how you got into cars, because it seems like it was way, way early. Taking shit apart, explain your childhood and your influences.
Honestly, like when I was growing up, like as early as I can remember, I remember being 4 years old and like ripping stuff apart with tools, like just this, this screwdriver fits this thing and I'm going to take that apart. And, I ruined a bunch of Dad's tools. I was really into kind of electronics and robotics and building stuff when I was, I guess, elementary school. Building go-karts and stuff kind of grew on me, making mini bikes, that sort of thing. And then once I got into high school, I started noticing cars a lot more. Like I've always been into them, but I couldn't drive a car till you're 16, right? So we were playing with go-karts, mini bikes, that sort of deal. And then I guess a Manx dune buggy caught my eye because it was the closest thing to a go-kart that was street legal. So it's on that, and that was the first car I bought and built ground up when I was 15 years old, age 17. And just building that car and talking to people and meeting people from getting parts for it or doing work to it or whatever, I met enough people that sort of steered me into hot rods and welding, fabrication, that sort of thing. It's where I kind of found my love is just working on stuff with wheels, man.
I saw in a video
somewhere
where your pop put together a workbench inside a closet.
Yeah. That honestly, that was one of the coolest memories I've got.
How old were you then? When was this?
I bet I was like 7 years old or something. Yeah. 7 years old, maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I came home from school one day and he put a pegboard up and built a workbench and got me a bar stool and he organized all my junk because like I had, circuit boards and electric motors and battery packs kind of everywhere. And he kind of put them into bins and he made me a little workshop. I had soldering iron and glue gun and all my little tools there. It was really, really cool, man. I spent a lot of time just, taping and gluing little Legos together and wheels and, putting, just anything together. Right. But, that was cool getting a lot of support from my parents for that.
When I was a kid, my father, he mechanically couldn't do shit. So he'd have a friend of his put all my Christmas stuff or all of my brother and sister Christmas stuff together. When it needed to be assembled, he had the one guy he went to. So he would tell him 2 days before, come over, put it all together. And if you were like me, and it sounds like you were, 2 days after getting the shit, you had it all ripped apart. And my father would be like, oh my God, because he couldn't even build it. And then it'd be a pile of parts, and I'd go, I don't know how to put it back together. I can only take it apart.
That's how it was. The same cloth there, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, try to figure out how it works, what makes it tick, what connects to what, and just mechanically, make it work. Dissect it basically.
Totally. Yeah. And I remember doing it to like a brand new toy when I was 5 years old. It ran out of batteries. I should have known better. And I was like, no, it's broken. Like, I gotta fix it. Like, I'm gonna take this thing apart. And it was like this wicked remote control car that I wanted so bad, and I just like ruined it first day. Like, drained the batteries, took it apart. That was the end of that.
Tell us about the mini bike here, because it sounded like a cool story.
Yeah, this mini bike. Okay, so this mini bike, I was 10 years old when me and my dad put this together, and so I remember watching a Robin Williams movie called Flubber. And he had a little electric scooter that he rode around on, like in campus or whatever. And my dad had brought home a gas-powered scooter called a California GoPed. So we had that thing, we were ripping around on it. And I said, I want to make an electric scooter like Robin Williams' electric scooter, right? And so we traded that GoPed for a mini bike frame and started making this electric mini bike. And you could see, like, we didn't get too technical with it. It was just like in the garden shed, whatever we could do. And so anyway, he drove me down to a auto wrecker. We got a starter motor from a Nissan 240. So it's a little gear reduction starter motor. I remember riding my bike down to the lawnmower shop and getting them to weld that sprocket on the end, like directly to the gear. Like, he just stick welded it directly to the gear. The gear still, we took the Bendix and everything out, but it still popped out. So we had to like misalign the chain so that when the starter motor started, it lined it up. But man, that thing was like scary fast. I'll paint a little bit of a picture for you. I was like a really big kid growing up. So I was probably like, I don't know, like $180. This is after I lost some weight. I like maxed out at like 260 pounds.
Wow.
And when I was like 10 years old, I was this little fat kid. And so I would have to run as fast as I could beside that mini bike and hop on and turn and lean forward and turn this key on, and it would just jerk it so hard it would get like a little wheelie out of it, and then I'd be able to go. But if I sat on it and turned it on, I would just be on my ass. Smoke. It would just wheelie right out from under me.
God, that's funny.
Lots of fun.
That's funny. I can see that now. You're running down the street chasing this damn gun.
That's me and my wife at our first ever drunken mini bike race. Yeah.
Is that is that the bar stool racer you made? It looks it.
Yeah, that's slightly modified from its original look, but yeah, that's the Barstool Racer that I made in high school. And yeah, we were just ripping it around. We were both super hammered in this picture.
How many
That's
horsepower
awesome.
is that? It looks like
Right
a
when
pretty
we
big
started
motor.
going out. Yeah.
There she is.
There
you
she
go.
is.
What's that, 58 Chevy?
Yeah, she's had that thing longer than she's had me, man.
That's a badass car, man.
58 Chevy is
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
That's a
she does.
badass car.
Got the wheels off of that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. It's
You
a
know what's
good-looking
funny?
car.
You know what's funny is the Flubber movie is a remake. That was originally when I was a kid. So when you talk about that, I watched it the same way, but it was a different movie. I mean,
Oh, no
movie.
way.
Yeah, it was black. It was black and white back then. Who was the guy?
Huh.
I'm trying to think of who it was.
He was in
he
all
did
the
a bunch of Disney movies.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember the guy's name because it was actually before me. But you know,
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google it.
Somebody will. But yeah, same thing. The other movie that hit me is the World's Strongest Man with Kurt Russell when I was a kid.
Yep.
When I watched that, when he mixed the chemicals together and shit, they should have remade that one because it was pretty funny. Same kind of thing. Whereas,
cool. Right. I had no idea that was a remake at all.
Yeah. You Google it, Lou.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Somebody
because it's bugging me. Because it's bugging me.
Let's go back to the Dune buggy. Is that the first car? Your first car is a Dune buggy?
Yeah, it was the first car I bought. Man, it was I was 15 years old.
You still have it? You sold it?
No, I had to sell it, man. When I moved to the States, I needed money, so I sold it. I wish I never did, man.
They're making a comeback.
Yeah,
all that.
Yeah,
stuff
they are making
back.
a comeback. Yeah,
yeah. I saw you sent over a picture of a custom van. You know, that
van is awesome.
That was a big deal when I was a kid. I mean, those things were all over. That was the hot trend. Too, yeah, if you could find a solid one.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more solid than this one. This one literally has not been driven more than a couple days in the last 40 years.
Really?
Dude, that thing is awesome. Where did you find that at?
This is a story, man. Okay, so like a few years ago, a friend of mine had an opportunity to buy this van, but it was in a carport. He couldn't see. He wasn't able to open the doors. He couldn't look inside. He couldn't tell if it ran. He had no information on it, but he was offered it for sale, and he passed it up. Then it wasn't for sale anymore because when he sent me the pictures, I said I'll take it, and I tried to do it. The guy wasn't selling. And then all of a sudden, this was like a couple months ago, like in December, beginning of December, this thing came up for auction at a local auction place that like normally they deal with like microwaves and household items and stuff. And this boogie van started blowing up Facebook saying like, you know, this van's up for sale. Right. And I could tell that it was the one I had pictures of in my phone. And I was like, just freaking out about it. So I've never bought anything from auction before. I signed up to be a bidder and I went and looked at it. And then online, I watched the auction and I bought it. And I wasn't sure if I made the right move or not. Like I wasn't 100% sure the condition. But when I got it home, man, it's just incredible, and the stories behind it. The original builders, there's 5 guys. I've talked to 4 of the 5 guys that actually built this thing. The main 4 guys, I would say, the body shop owner, the airbrush artist, and then the couple of guys that did the interior work and a bunch of the labor on it. And so this van was to showcase the work of Vancouver Auto Upholstery and Fantasia Body Shop. And so they were under the same roof. They were building custom vans and doing custom cars, that kind of thing. Really talented artist that came from South America. He did all the artwork on it when he was 20. The body shop owner was 23. The owner of the van was like, they were all in their early 20s. So it's like 4 dudes. They were in their early 20s. They built this thing to showcase their work, and then they took it to shows. So the first show it went to was local, and George Barris actually judged it. This was before they did all the final touches underneath it and painted everything underneath. And it came in 3rd place. So after that first show, they kind of like had a strategy for trying to win full van, which is their category. I guess there's street van, full van, and then like full custom van or something like that. But after that, the next 5 shows, ISCA shows that it went to, it won 1st place because it got fully detailed underneath. They did etching over everything, engraving. They just went just bananas. There's 52 custom body modifications on it, and it went into storage. The original owner had a bad relationship fallout, Kevin Landry, and he traded it for camera gear. This van, he traded it for camera gear, and he left for Australia. Got a job for some company, I'm not sure what it was. Moved him to Vietnam, and he still lives in Vietnam. And I've actually talked to Kevin as well. He sent me like this kind of like the memoirs of the van, and actually his aunt just got in contact with me. She wants to come take a picture with the van before it goes, and it's just really cool to like uncover all that history.
Awesome, man.
Walk us, put the picture back up and walk us through the artwork, because it's you can see it, but it's not, of course, not a side shot, and there's work on the hood.
Yeah, so the artwork of this van, starting on the passenger rear door, like when it was shown, the rear doors were open. So if you were to start looking at the artwork from the passenger rear door and walk around the van counterclockwise, it would depict all the main scenes from the movie Excalibur, like the 1981.
Yeah.
Excalibur. That's what all those were. So like you see the guy right there, the second from the left. That's David Lloyd. He's still airbrushing, but he airbrushed that in his 20s, all using pearl paint. And he was an Excalibur movie fanatic. So he literally paused the VCR and sketched the scenes from the TV and then put them onto the van. So it's got like these little sharp points everywhere. It's got dragons engraved into the door handles. It's got dragons engraved into etched into the windshield. There's like the Holy Grail in a mirror inside the van. It's just insane, man. Like there's actually a leaded glass light that lights up on the inside. It's Excalibur on it. Like it's just so gnarly. There's a mirror.
That's awesome.
It is killer, man. Like and the beauty of this whole thing is that it has not seen the light of day. Like there's no fading on the upholstery or anything. Like it's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What's past the bed inside? What's past the bed on the other side of the wall when you're looking through the back there, because we can't see it?
Okay, on the other side, there's it's got like an ice box, like a little like wooden cabinet with like a bar. There's some like crystal bottles and stuff. Like total party time in there, man. There's like,
dude, that's awesome.
Little glass beers all the way around the steps going into the bed area and stuff. It's so swanky. It's crazy.
It's a shaggin' wagon, that's for sure.
100%.
It's a shaggin' wagon.
Got a velour crushed velvet mattress in it,
There's not many of those that are in that condition still around. They're redone and shit and worn out and beat up, but not like that.
Yeah. I haven't heard of any preserved like that, like who could resist driving that thing? I mean, you got to think too that like custom vans, they went out, right? Like in the 90s, like those vans weren't cool anymore. And this van changed hands a few times, and none of those people, like they all saw the value of keeping it, in good condition. Like they kept it inside and didn't drive it. Like the drive shaft doesn't even have a nick in like custom pearl painted drive shaft. There's not even a nick or a scratch. Like it's ridiculous, man. I couldn't have resisted for 30 years not driving that thing. Like,
it's
hard for me to resist it now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to keep it a while, aren't you?
Well, no, I got to say, I actually already sold it. The reason
really?
I did sell it. Yeah, I did sell it. I knew that this was like a stepping stone van for me, not stepping up. I'm going to step back down from this one.
At least you're honest about it.
It's too nice. It's too nice for me, man. I can't have nice things. Like I just can't. I mean, like my truck, like if somebody runs a shopping cart into it, I'm like not worried about it, man. Like I drive this thing, then I gotta go clean underneath and shine the paint on the drive shaft. Like that's not me. I can't do that.
Right.
So actually, I want to just find the right owner. That's kind of I did it as a business move. Like I knew I was going to make some money, or I hoped to make some money on it. I did, but more importantly, I want to go to somebody who's going to appreciate it. And the guy that it's going to, he's definitely the right guy. He actually he's been a vanner his whole life. His whole life is vans. Like I've been kind of dabbling in all kinds of customs. This guy's all about the vans. He's local-ish. He's Edmonton, so province.
Yeah.
But he's got another van that is from here, from the Lower Mainland where I'm at, and it's got the same color and exact same ISCA show sticker on it. So it's possible that these two vans were friends, like back in the early
days. So cool.
Isn't that cool?
Like against each other. Yeah.
Like we were in the same year of ISCA shows together. And so he's telling me that he's having dreams about this van. And like I said no to his first offer, but I came back and I was like, let's just work it out. So he's trading me another van. That's why I'm saying I'm stepping in and out of, this will be my fourth van in 12 months probably. But he's going to trade me another Chev Shorty plus some cash for this one. And the one he's trading me is same year and everything. It's got a little bubble window. It's an old boogie van, but just like a one that people drove and used, and he used it in high school and stuff. Turns out that my dad, I sent him a picture of it. He's like, that's the same color, same year van as my dad had back in the day. So I feel like this next one is probably a keeper.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Those things were big when we were kids. When Lou and I were kids, they were a big deal.
Them.
You were born in what, like 84? When were you born?
Oh, I was born in 88.
88. Yeah. We're old enough to be your dad. I mean, it's fucked up. We are. You know what I mean?
Just so you guys know, across the screen, and I got the answer. The first flubber was Fred McMurray. And then
Matt threw it up first. And Matt, let me tell you what happened.
I had it. I was waiting for a break in the action.
No, on our end, all the comments are combined into one, so they scroll pretty fast on our side. Now the producers see it and throw them up, but we don't see them as you see it on your side. Don't feel bad; it's not blocked. We just, we don't catch it all the time. So
we're busy trying to work. Don't worry.
But Flubber was that's an inspiration, because you're like, what is this shit? And it was a pretty good movie, a good concept. I don't know that I saw the Robin Williams version of it. But those customized vans, when I was a kid, they had a business set up just to customize that shit, to put the windows in.
It was a big deal.
Side pipes. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, I remember Nassau Coliseum had, they would have this car show every year, and it was probably an ISCA. I'm not sure, but they had half the floor was vans for about 3-4 years, man. Yeah, man, they were big, man. There was, There was a body shop, Janoff's Customs, and they took like a 68 Chevy van and wedge chopped it.
Oh, cool.
It was the craziest thing. So, like the windshield was probably like, I don't know, maybe 8-10 inches tall. And then the back door was stock height. It was just this radical wedge chop. It was really crazy. And then they painted it bright yellow, so you couldn't miss the damn thing,
It's the wrong color for any vehicle ever, just putting that out there. But
yeah, back in those days, people were doing a lot of drugs, so shit was wild. Lou and I was talking one time on the phone. I went to the Philadelphia Auto Show back in like 78. And I met John Travolta when he was Vinnie Barbarino. But the cars that they displayed at the show, 99% of them were customs. Now it's new cars that they're showing at the Philadelphia Auto Show.
Yeah.
But back then, if you didn't have a fish tank in your build, you weren't the man. You had to have a fish with goldfish in the dash somewhere in the car. But those guys were smoking a lot of weed and doing a lot of coke and shit.
I want to know how you drive around with that in there. Like, dude, fish in there.
I don't know that they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did either.
These are just wild custom cars. It was the fur on the dash. It was the the riv seats that spun. It was it was just crazy shit.
Oh man,
but I remember the big deal.
Did you ever see one with a waterbed in it, John? There was one of them roaming around.
No, I didn't see it. If I did, I don't remember.
There was a guy. There was a guy at one of the shows. He had a waterbed in the back of his van.
They were doing a lot of drugs, but it was cool. There was a lot of creative shit going on back then, but it was so wild and over the top. Now you got like 5 guys that stand out back in the day that did stuff like that was over the top. Everybody was over the top. back then.
I like
cool.
watching what Dave Shutton's up to for that kind of stuff, man. He's got all the cool restorations going, you know?
Yeah.
All the old show cars.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy around here that did oh God, it was one of the phone booth cars, like the Coca-Cola one from the 70s.
Oh,
had a
yeah.
really crazy it was a tea bucket, but it looked like a phone booth. It was so tall.
Is that
No
the one with
windows.
like super wide front wheels too?
I don't remember.
Like
No,
when-
I think it had the bicycle wheels. I think
Oh,
it had
okay.
the bicycle wheels.
Oh yeah, I guess 70s.
Pizza
not
cutters. They had pizza cutters in the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they were spoked like motorcycle wheels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it was. He said it was like a promotional Coca-Cola car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you know how it was like a tea bucket body, but the back had a really hard angle, like a 45-degree angle, and it made the roof, so it looked like the whole thing was that body style. Really crazy looking.
Yeah, you're talking about like are you talking about the uncertain tea? It's not a Coca-Cola tea, but like when you're talking about the super harsh angle where like the top,
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same body. Yeah, it was
uncertain tea. Yeah, I mean
it was like when you looked at it.
Blue's drawing now.
Oh yeah.
You got your crayons out.
Oh yeah, I got I'm ready to rock, man. I came prepared.
We
Like the body would have looked kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the uncertainty that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, this one had that kind of body.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Yeah. I had seen someone had already stripped it down, so I really don't know. He told me that it was an old Coca-Cola
That's
promo
cool.
vehicle. That's
Crazy.
what he said. But it like the valve covers were gold plated and the axle was gold. I mean, like someone really did a lot of work back in the day on this thing. It was crazy looking though. It was crazy.
I love the show.
Let's run back to Karl's career. In like 2010, you did you went to bikes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Explain what you were doing just prior to that and drop it into the bike shop.
So go ahead.
Where'd you get your mad skills at? That's what I'm getting at.
Man, I mean, I was lucky enough to have a lot of there's a lot of great people around me that encouraged, me to do this kind of work. And so, Brett Williamson, he was actually my boss at a garbage compactor fabrication place. And I built garbage compactors for a while, man. And I was kind of in and out of that, but he was building race cars in his home garage. So he kind of introduced me into like tube notching and TIG welding and all the kind of, the different hardware, the different ways of mounting things and Heim joints and suspension, that kind of stuff. I was exposed to it through that. Among others, there's Jesse Padgett was another guy right out of high school. I was working with him a little bit, building custom cars. And just it kind of evolved. Like you just meet people and pick things up, right? Like I didn't go to school for any of it. I went to school for welding. I did my C-level welding or my entry-level welding course while I was still in high school. Actually, it was like this partnership program. I got to piece it from high school for a year, get my welding ticket, and then come back, finish off grade 12. And that kind of stepped me into, being at least useful to somebody who's working on cars. So I just tried to get as many jobs as I could that had me building stuff. Including that compactor shop. Like he kind of let me build my own machines from scratch. Like if it need be, like I built like this crazy machine that had to lift a garbage can up and then tilt it into a bin and come back down. And we kind of, engineered that to only have one hydraulic cylinder and all these crazy pivots and stuff. So I've always been interested in that sort of thing. But
awesome.
just before the bikes, like I was doing that, and I was kind of on and off just doing like a garage backyard shop where I did your air ride or your suicide doors or whatever, just for cash, and that's just what I did.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun, and then that kind of wasn't working out. I had a partnership with the dude, and it was just all verbal, and I don't know. We just kind of started drifting apart. We're still great friends, but I got a job first right before the motorcycle shop. I got a job at a drag racing shop for only a couple weeks. I put 2 resumes out. One was this drag racing shop, which Brett recommended me for. And then the other one was this motorcycle gig where they just needed a fabricator for this custom motorcycle shop. And I didn't hear back from the motorcycle guys. So I went and did a couple weeks building, roll cages and stuff at this drag shop and trying to hone my TIG welding skills a little bit. Like I was never really taught how to TIG weld other than just, from people showing me here and there, like try this, try that. It was never in school. But 2 weeks into working for this drag racing place, I got a call from the motorcycle shop, and they just kind of made me a really sweet offer. And it wasn't about the money. It was kind of more about what I was going to be doing. Instead of just, cutting and coping pipe all day, which is great. And I have fun doing that. It would be more like creating stuff and more of the artistic fabrication. Right. And so that sounded more up my alley. So I was like, man, at least I'm cutting the cord early. I'm out of here. And I crossed over to building bikes. And I got to say that it was an experience of a lifetime, because there's no other fabricators there. And I told these guys, I know nothing about motorcycles. I'd love to learn everything about them. But as far as like, what's a knucklehead versus a panhead versus a head, I didn't know what I was doing. Right. But I knew how to weld. I knew how to fabricate a little bit. And there was a guy there that had seen a lot of stuff and been around a lot. He was in his 60s, and he kind of showed me the ropes, or he could tell whether or not my fabrication was going to work. We'll put it that way. He wasn't a fabricator, but he could tell, what was going to work. And this bike right here, this is kind of like the best thing that we put out in my eyes. It was Hakeem Hassan, who's the painter / manager of the shop. He designed this bike with some, paper and a pencil, and me and him just went to town on it. It's called Knuckle Dragger. We built that thing in 10 weeks for Sturgis in 2013, and just the experience of building that bike, it'll never leave me. I've got this dream of owning that bike one day. I know where it is. It's in South Dakota, I believe, but I can't afford it yet. But it's kind of like this van, like
yeah.
Like I want it to come back to me one day. It's, or it will come back to me one day. I promise myself that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Ken, Brad, put that picture back up, and Karl, walk us through what you did here.
So right here, we started, believe it or not, with, like, this is a full custom bike, but we did start by buying I think it was a 2011 Harley Davidson. And I think I used like about 12 pounds of it. Just basically like where the bags mount, like the two bars that mount the rear fender, and that's literally the only pieces I used. Everything else is made from scratch. So we used a 100-inch S&S knucklehead motor with a 6-speed tranny in a 4-speed case. It was kick and electric start. The frame has air running through it because it's all air ride. We were playing with AccuAir's E-level setup for motorcycles, and this bike has it on it. So I put one of the first AccuAir E-level systems on a motorcycle is on this bike right here, where you can just choose your level and set it, and it would adjust to it. So it's air ride front and rear. That whole frame and the whole front end is hand fabricated from steel, from scratch. Like it's pretty much scratch built. We got I think it was Mad Wheels, Doug Magoon, and what's his last name? Mike from Boyd Coddington Hot Rods back in the day. That he was the machinist there. Mike, do you guys know? Oh yeah,
Mike Curtis.
Yeah, Mike Curtis and Doug Magoon. They did the machining on that front wheel. That front wheel is like a custom made. If you look at the rim of that, how it's got the white wall, that's all part of the outer rim.
Yeah.
Dude, so Mike does some nice work.
Yeah,
he does some damn. He's good.
Yeah, they're nuts, man.
So that was 2012 that was put together, brand new bike.
Yeah, it was a couple-year-old bike, and it was we built this in 2013. And
do you remember what the total ticket was to put that together? They tell you?
You know what? Actually, I think that we spent, like, not including labor.
Yeah.
Like I think we spent $30,000. That's it.
That was a lot of money back then. Where'd the bike go?
Yeah.
Who owned it? Do you remember who owned
So,
it?
like,
What
I'm
happened?
not sure who it originally sold to, but it sold for 6 figures to somebody,
Really?
and then it sold again, and now it's in a collection, like a private collection or something in the States, and they are selling it right now. It is for sale, and last I heard, we kind of have first refusal on it, even though we can't really buy it, but But yeah, that's where it is. It's in South Dakota right now. It's been ridden, man. Like my boss back then, he rode that to Sturgis. Like a couple years later, he actually rode that thing all the way there. And yeah, it's been rode hard and put away wet many a time. You know?
Yeah, well, it should be, because that shows the build. It shows you can run it. It's just not a showpiece. It works.
Yeah,
which makes a difference.
Yeah. That's one of the things I'd like to ride to Sturgis. That's what I'd like. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I think it'd be cool,
like a bucket list item.
Yeah, let's write that down, because that is me too. Let me put that down here.
There you go.
You know what we need to do? You know what we need to do, John? We need to get Puss to bust up with 4 bikes. We'll bring Karl with us. Well, you got one, so it'd be me and Karl, you and Puss. We'd ride out there.
I'd have to get my motorcycle license.
You don't need that. You don't need that. Nah. We'll call a friend of a friend. We'll get you out of there real quick.
Hey,
come on,
we got a guy. We got a guy.
I've never had one since then. So
Fisher, that's Irish, right? You're good. We round out. Karl, you're gonna have to take a fall. He's gonna have to take a fall for us. That's all.
It's not a problem.
Well, he just pulls out his race card. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Karl, I drove for 10 years on a suspended license. Don't even worry about it.
Nah, don't worry about it. Nice. Come on, we'll just gas it and go to Canada. We're done. Okay. Karl, let's get into your truck.
Sure.
John
let's talk about
truck.
Listen, we're gonna have to borrow. You still got the thing or no? We're gonna have to borrow for the Hot Rod Power Tour. Will 2 fat guys fit in there?
You can jam in there.
I know you're skinny as shit now, but Lou and I are fat as fuck.
It's the height. If you're an inch taller than me, you won't fit.
What are you? How tall are you?
I'm 5'10 and a half, 5'11.
I'll fit. I shrunk with all the back injuries. I shrunk.
Yeah.
I'm like 5'9" now.
I'm losing my hair. I was 6'2" with my hair. I'm probably 6 foot.
So Lou can drive and John can be passenger, because
there you go. There you go.
I'll creep down inside that bitch. That's badass. Yeah. Talk to us about this thing, because it's got a lot of character. And the flamethrowers, the exhaust manifolds. Come on, man. Your hydraulics you got hooked up on that bitch.
Yeah,
you still got it, because I'm going to come up and steal it. Get it across the border for me.
That's
get it across the border.
I'll get buried in this one. It's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
I'm going to rate you a rubber check. Come on.
Yeah. Sounds bouncy.
It'll look good we only need it like 5 days.
I started building this thing in that motorcycle shop. Where I built the bikes, it was this tiny little shed with a fabrication shop. So we had to bring all the material in to build the frame, and then turn the frame sideways to get it out the door. I built the frame on a Saturday, just kind of after work or whatever, and just pieced it together, man. It was just kind of my one tie back to building cars while I was doing the whole bike thing. And it's been an ongoing project for about 10 years. It started off as just a cab. I bought the cab for $150 and kind of started from there. The cab was it was worth I probably overpaid for the cab. It was junk, man.
Yeah.
But
show the picture of the body laying on the ground with the motor.
Oh yeah, I think there you go.
You extended that thing out. What, about 2 inches?
So I didn't. I chopped it 6.5, and then just had to section the roof a little bit just for the chop. And man, it was just fully rotten all the way up. The insides of the doors, just everything was just garbage. The box actually was a fire pit at an old shop. It was just scabbed together. I mean, I didn't even buy the frame rails new. They were laying in the dirt on a buddy's farm.
So you're saying you don't have a whole lot of money in it. Listen,
well,
10 grand, Karl, 10 grand. What do you think? Take it or leave it?
Oh,
$1
man.
million.
Yeah. It's worthless, okay? I mean,
It's fucking
priceless.
badass. It is badass. No, serious. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That's prior to making the door suicide. That's you just roughing shit out right there, right?
Yeah, man. This is like after owning it for a couple of weeks, this just kind of hucking parts at it, and we didn't end up using that motor, and just tons of stuff got done after that. It's still not done. There's more to do.
Well, it's art. Art's never done. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to walk away from it.
Yeah.
Well, I
that
saw a
thing?
video where you found some of the inside trim at Cache Creek or some shit in the middle of nowhere up there.
Yeah.
What's that
dude.
story?
So we were filming this Metal Reborn documentary, and we were up at Cache Creek, and this guy Travis, he sent us like a pin drop, like a location, like go check this out. There's like a ravine here with a bunch of cars in it, and it looked like somebody had just like rolled them off the road, and they all kind of fell into this one spot. And as we were looking around down there, I just wanted to see like all this old tin. Like I've never seen anything like that around, and lo and behold, there is my cab there, better shape than the cab that I bought for $150. And it had the final missing piece of garnish molding that I needed for my cab. When I bought the cab, it had no windshield trim, no garnish molding for the doors, none of that stuff. And so I had to like get that from eBay or wherever I could. It took me like years to just collect all three of those pieces, the windshield and the two side garnishes. And I never found the back window piece. So when we were in Cache Creek, I think it was actually Ashcroft, more accurately, where that ravine was. And we found that cab there, and I had some tools with me, and I got my garnish molding, man. So
That's awesome.
Is that a nickname or is that the real name?
Cache Creek.
Yeah.
Cache Creek is the real name. Yeah. It's this wicked little hot rod town, kind of like up the old highway. The old highway got destroyed recently with all the flooding here, just terrible. But Cache Creek is like a total hot rod town. They say it's the only municipality in Canada with a government-funded burnout box, because it's
No way.
It's like at the fire hall or something. Like the fire hall comes out there. They like all the firemen. They come to do the burnouts there for graffiti days as their car show. And yeah, man, they just do smoke shows, and then a tire shop comes and swaps people's tires and stuff. It's
That sounds like a blast.
It is.
Go there. That's awesome.
That was like
what year is that cab?
truck.
One of the guys wanted to know what year was the cab.
Oh, it's a 38 Dodge.
Okay.
Or I've been calling it a 38 Dodge, but it could be a 36 or 37. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the guys thought it was a 35 Ford.
Oh, no, not quite. No.
Yeah, you have a bunch of different parts on that thing. You got 62 Lincoln brakes on it. Go walk through some of the stuff that you put together to make that thing work.
Sure. So, yeah, like I said, like it's a total hot rod. It's just pieces that I find pieces that I like, and then I try and find a way to fit them. So it's either that or it was just too cheap to pass up. Like the front axle there was like $50. It was a old Chevy P10 van. The brakes were at a buddy's place. They were, a couple $100. He gave me these 62 Lincoln brakes, so I drilled them out and adapted them to that axle. The headlights, they were, a swap meet from a Ford tractor, I'm pretty sure, and they had that aluminum trim ring on them, so I polished them up. The engine, 62 Corvette 283, just a little 283, but it's got some high compression heads on it, and the motor's pretty punky. The what else have we got on there that's kind of weird?
What intake is that on that
Talk
thing?
about the hydraulics. What'd you do there? What are you doing?
So the hydraulics are it like in the front and the rear. My idea for this hydraulic system is to try and have it ride like as normal hot rods would. There's a lot of people talk about hydraulics and think that they ride like skateboards, and that's it's not true. That's totally dependent on what springs you put in them, basically. Right. So if you run hydraulics in a cantilever fashion over coilovers like I did in the rear, it's just going to ride like normal coilovers. That's it. So the front, I made this weird little link that allowed a transverse leaf to be used in the front, underneath the hydraulics. So I've got just two hydraulic rams attached to basically like a little bit of a wishbone bar that's linked to a leaf spring clamp, and that's what raises and lowers that front axle.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't compress the cylinder. You have the spring, and that gives you the ride. That makes. I never even thought of that, man.
So there you go. Like the hydraulics
genius.
are solid. Yeah, they're solid.
Yeah.
You're essentially just moving the spring mount. And
right.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah.
it should be instead of going direct.
I never
your only
even
suspension.
thought of that.
So it's so rigid.
Right. And I mean, some guys too, they can run, you can run something called like an accumulator.
Right. I've seen that.
Yeah. So those soften up the ride. Then you start riding like a Cadillac for sure. But yeah, this is just like old school sort of lift pump hydraulics. The type of pumps that I'm using, they're called Reds double tops. They're really simple, man. They just have like, each pump has two fittings that go out, one for each cylinder for the front and then one for each cylinder for the back. It's like super basic, super simple. I don't have to charge my batteries. I've just got one battery that runs the truck, one battery that runs the hydraulics, and then a battery isolator that splits the charging system to either one, whichever one needs it. And a beefy alternator works awesome.
That's awesome.
Exhaust
real quick, two things.
Yeah.
Is that's a tunnel ram, right? Dual quad tunnel ram?
It's a single quad tunnel ram. Yep.
Okay. And the other thing is because we're going to run out of time here soon. What's the deal with the planishing hammer? Because I saw the videos where you've been making the fixtures and all that. And I know we have the picture of it made. A couple of the guys have asked about it. So why don't you talk about that? This way they get the information they need.
Sure. All right. So yeah, the planishing hammers is it's sort of the first major tool that I'm trying to bring to market. And I did a pre-sale a while ago, and we've got a bunch of them sold. So now I'm manufacturing them to send them out to people. And these are portable planishing hammers that you can bring to your work. Like this one here is the 24-inch version. There's a 36-inch version as well that has a lot longer reach. Like if you're welding up a chop on a car and you want to reach into the roof skin a little bit more, you got dents on a roof or a hood that you want to get out. But basically it's meant to be a portable planishing hammer so that you can bring it to your workpiece. That's awesome.
Karl, hold on. Dumb it down. Video. What does it do?
All right. Well, the planishing hammer, it'll smooth and it'll stretch. That's what it's for. So you've got different anvils in there that have different radiuses on them, so that we can smooth different curves and panels. If you turn up the volume on it, so to speak, the air pressure a little bit more, then it'll hit hard enough to actually stretch materials to start creating compound curves as well. And that's what it's about. So like when you're welding a roof, say you've got a TIG weld in a roof chop that goes across like the top of my truck. That weld, it tightens everything up, it pulls everything together, and it sometimes kind of makes a bit of a butt. It pulls it all down, right? So you start hammering your welds up, and this hammer will stretch those welds back out and stretch out the material back to its kind of relaxed shape, or its original shape. So whatever shape you've got in your panels, as soon as you weld them, that shape starts to change because it's tightening everything up and shrinking it all. Well, that planishing hammer will stretch those things back out. It'll smooth things back out to a desired radius. And we're going to continue to make different arms and fixtures for the hammer so that they can fit into different areas on people's cars as well. Like if you need to snake into a quarter panel or in between a bedside, that kind of thing, we're going to start creating different lower jaws for the hammer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and sort of part of the hinge design of this hammer is so that you can purchase a different lower jaw for the same hammer and get into different areas, and that's kind of the reasoning behind the design, so to speak.
No, that's a damn good idea, man. That's really good.
How much, and where do I get one?
JapHandsCustoms.com is our website. You can get any of our merch there, or the planishing hammers themselves, and they're $2,400 US for the full kit, with 13-piece lower anvil set and a radius gauge ready to go.
There you go, John. Make it happen.
That's
another check tomorrow.
Same price for the 24 and the 36?
The 24 and 36 are the same price. Yep. Yeah, they're basically the exact same hammer. There's just a couple inches extra tube in there.
go back.
John's going to send you $5,000 for 2 of them. How much is shipping? That's going to be the other thing to the States.
For most of North America, we found that shipping is about $225. If you're in Australia, it's a lot more. If you're in UK, it's a lot more. But for all of North America, we've pretty much found that it's about $225 for shipping.
There you go, John. Send a check tomorrow. Get it going.
Right.
John needs it. He's got that
one.
Cadillac.
It's two. Do I need one for you too, Lou?
If you want to.
Might as well.
It's my Christmas present. I'm not going to complain.
Oh, you got enough shit for Christmas. The truck. Lou jumped from this to the
No, I wanted to get it done because I knew we would run out of time. You know what I mean? We're already at the hour mark, and I didn't want. That's important information. The Planishing hammer. You know, I
want to know about the exhaust manifolds and the flamethrowers on the truck.
Okay, go back to the truck.
That's how I roll. To me, that's cool as shit. Look at that. That's the character. You take the flames out of there, it's cool, but it ain't as cool as the hydraulics are cool as shit.
Yeah, those flamethrowers.
That's got attitude. Over the JAP Hands logo right there. Yeah, that says "fuck you" all over it. I'm just saying.
Everybody loves them unless I get too close to their paint. You know.
Again, you know what I mean? Shit. So fuck you, Pearl Harbor. Fuck it, bomb them. Fuck it. Karl, once in a while, you got to say "fuck it." Flamethrowers are cool as shit. Talk to us about the exhaust manifolds and the flamethrowers.
The flamethrowers were something I always wanted, man. I always wanted to do a flamethrower setup on something that was standalone. You know, like it's a fuel injected flamethrower rather than one of those kits that cuts your power from your distributor,
right,
and lets your gas wash your cylinders and comes out the tailpipes. Like those, if you do them too much, it's probably not good for your motor to get all the oil taken out of the cylinder walls. Anyway, these are fuel injected flamethrowers. So I got a standalone spark system in there that lights up that spark plug, and then I've got just a few psi teed off of my my fuel pressure right before the carburetor, and I just take a little bit of actual gasoline and push it through a nitrous jet that I've welded into the exhaust pipe, man. And so now I can be driving and run the flamethrowers. That's what I do.
With the pressure, what do you got? A couple pounds. You're talking 2 or 3, and you got what, 3 foot flame?
Yeah, there's a little more pressure than that. I think there's probably actually more like probably 8 or 9, maybe, or somewhere around there.
So how long's the flame? I mean, we got the shot here, which looks like 3 feet or so.
Yeah, that's like a baby one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they pass the cab. Like if I'm driving, they pass the cab. They're touching my back tire kind of thing. But yeah, it's quite a bit. Some guys have told me to go propane because it's safer, but I mean,
safer shit.
There's always a spot on the ground that's on fire right next to it.
Yeah, I said the ground looks like it's burnt pretty good in that.
That's another reason why we need this for hot rod power.
There's the virtual key toss.
We need to pull up on Ralph with his 2022 red eye.
Sear the paint off it.
Literally smoke him.
Man, have you guys ever heard of that movie Sonic with Jim Carrey in it?
Yeah, one of the guys said that it was in the movie.
Yeah,
I heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
That's why it has flamethrowers, is because they hit me up to ask if I could do flamethrowers on a couple hot rods, and I was like, "You're gonna pay me to put flamethrowers on my truck?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Deal! Like I'll do that."
No kidding.
Called up my buddy too. I was like, "Hey, do you want flamethrowers on your hot rod?" He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna do them." I'm like, "Yep." So like, charged them, put flamethrowers on my truck and a buddy's hot rod, and they fed us, and we got paid to hang out on set for a couple nights, and it was a good time. But
it's pretty cool.
It's something I was going to do anyway, but to get them to foot the bill, that's all right.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Karl's one of those guys, when you see him, his face is always smiling.
Yeah.
It makes you happy. The other thing I like about him is he's paying it forward by teaching the rest of the people what he's learned.
It's that, and to me, that's huge, man.
It is
that's
huge
because
It is huge.
it's amazing. It's
Paying it
amazing
forward.
the group of people that are coming up that don't have a network. You know what I mean? They don't have that network of people that are helping them along.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I got into teaching. You know,
Or a dad to show them or build them the closet workstation. They don't have that.
No, they don't.
They got a mom and that's it. You're paying it forward. Next generation. Like I said, we're old enough to be your dad, but you're actually paying it for. You're making us proud, dude. You really
awesome.
are.
Well, thank you. You know, thank
Seriously.
you. I enjoy doing this, so it is selfish in the fact that I really do have fun every day in what I do, and people to hang out with and talk to. It's really cool, and I appreciate you guys having me on here as well. It's been a blast. The whole YouTube thing, man. Like the way I think about it is because I didn't have that when I was growing up, like trying to learn. I remember smashing, stuff on the gravel in my Alpine hammer and a piece of tin and some gravel to see if I get some shape. Yeah. So to be able to answer some of those questions that people may or may not be asking that are trying to gain that information to do the similar kinds of jobs, like it always seemed like such, wizardry to me growing up. Like I couldn't obtain that information. So if there's little nuggets of basic information that I can share with people, that's brings me a lot of joy.
Karl, what's next for you? Awesome. And how do people find you?
Instagram, JAP Hands Customs on Instagram or Facebook. We're most active on Instagram, I would say, and just Make It Custom on YouTube. That is what we're kind of putting our eggs into right now, because we're seeing the most reach with YouTube and we're having the most fun with it. So Christina, like my wife and I, were both just kind of full-time maintaining this business and trying to keep Make It Custom alive, as well as bring the odd tool to market and merch and that kind of stuff. And we're just trying to have fun with our lives, so
dude, that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, Japanese Customs and Make It Custom, those are our babies.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shut it down for the evening. So it's just time to do that. So Karl, say goodnight. Tell everybody again where you can be found.
All right. Karl. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you guys. Thanks, Lou and John, for having me. It's been amazing. And you can find me on Instagram, Make It Custom on YouTube, and we'll check you later.
All right, Karl, take it easy.
Let's do the power tour. Let's do the power tour, Karl. Run across the border.
He just wants the flamethrowers.
No, I want that truck. I want the truck.
If I'm coming with you, I'll bring it down.
Let's go.
There you go. John's happy now. John's happy now.
We'll bring it down there. I'm not going to drive it down. I got a bad back, but you guys can drive it.
Nah, you got a bad back. You're too young to have a bad back. Lou is like 85 years old with his back.
I'm the king of getting into car accidents that aren't my fault. Okay, that's why I have a back.
You need a good lawyer. That's all you're saying. You need a good lawyer.
I got into one like a week ago. I just rode off my snowplow.
Dude,
come on down. Come on down.
2 weeks ago, when the neurosurgeon opened up my MRI film, he asked me, "Were you in a car accident?" I was like, "No." Yeah, my back is hammered, dude. It's fucking hammered. But anyway,
you don't want to drive that thing then.
No, I just want to see John get in it, because I'm going to sit there and sing "Fat Kid in a Skinny Jacket."
A little bit of Vaz, a little bit. Just don't light me up. A little bit of Vaz, I'll fit in there. Grease me up.
All right, so next week we got Christy Lee. Everybody, remember, we're back at it, season 2. 3 lefts don't make it right. And if you need to email,
hold on. Look at that.
There she is, Christy Lee.
No, she texted me that. Bring it. If you're watching, bring it. Yo, put that back up. We don't want to see Karl. Bring it. That's Lou in a dog suit. Oh, he's a pit bull on the weekend. Oh,
God.